Hi, my name is Carolyn Bonham-Shears, and then my project name is Emerging and Future Technology. Our supply closet. Obsolete technology can be found in any supply closet. It is often left alone to house many insects that need a home. At my school, the obsolete technology was an overhead projector. It was found with many teaching materials from the business department. The reason overhead projector became obsolete because today's students are different technologically from the world in which their parents and grandparents were students. In higher education, it's important not to be a laggard because business depends on community college to use business tools for their potential employer. For the emerging technology will advance in learning environment and the obsolete technology will fade away to the supply closet. The obsolete technology was the overhead projector. The overhead projectors use transparent sheet, which is known as transparency. A transparent sheet is generated by a copy machine to transfer document information onto the transparency. The problem with the overhead projector was the fan would fail to keep the light bulb cool, and the bulb will blow. The multi-touch projector is the emerging technology that allows technology to be integrated in the classroom by direct attached to the teacher's computer. It can function as the ability to enhance lectures, presentation by using videos, and educational resources such as multimedia applications to enhance learning. Students can be engaged by moving objects and write on canvas. The educational displays will only provide a new territory for technology that will empower the learner to use web-enabled games and Web 2.0 tools. The multi-touch is becoming popular also in the news media. What is a trick track? Let's define. The trick track is not meant to be a scientific tool, but for one exploration of grammar and syntax of each artifact. Dynamic tool to describe a situation that are in process. Webster. Now, let's take a closer look at Maclaurin's trick track. Maclaurin's trick track is 4 laws which are scientific based for observation of any artifact or media. With that in mind, let's look at our obsolete technology, which is the overhead projector. What is enhanced? Enhanced teaching collaboration by using constructivism approach to learning. Provide a large view for document information. Transparency is used to transfer visual images. What is obsolete? A chalkboard or a whiteboard. What it reverses? It retrieves photography. And what it retrieves? It retrieves photography. It allows the audience to view a large image in the classroom by viewing these images on a white screen. It reverses the LCD projector. Maclaurin stated from the book of Laws of Media, at electric speed, all forms are pushed to the limits of their potential. Now, let's take a closer look at the multi-touch projector and see the potential that was pushed from the overhead projector. Now, it displays a 3D dimensional sharpener and like images to the classroom and enhance the learning experience. Interact long distance collaborative. What is obsolete? The overhead projector. What it retrieves? The photography. What it reverses? The holographic projection. The interview process. My 2 candidates has already signed their consent form. Hello, my name is Carolyn Bonham-Shears, and today I'm going to interview Mr. Jason Ford, a Spotsburg Community College. He is the Instructional Technology Director, and so here's Mr. Ford.
I am the Director of Instructional Support at Spartanburg Community College. agree. I think a lot of it isn't so much the technology as much as it was the presentation and the content. And I think that enhances students' learning. What it did help me to do was to present it in a different way. As far as the importance of technology in today's classroom, I like to sort of point out that whenever we say technology, I think it's important to realize that technology does not just refer to electrical equipment. It's really the tools that we use to teach. And I think a variety of tools are needed in helping to engage students. Not everyone will benefit from just a straight oral lecture. Having alternative means or tools to teach concepts is always a good thing. And so with that in mind, I would say that the technology is an important thing inside the classroom if we approach it from the concept that we're choosing technology to help students learn, not so much to help us teach. I mean, after all, sometimes you just need a bit of creativity. I remember one time that I used my 4-year-old son's toys as tools for a class lesson for college students, and I actually got more engagement from them out of that simple demonstration than I did from a usual PowerPoint. As far as my opinion about the multi-touch projector, I remember whenever the smartboard came into our classroom, and I used it for presentations, and I would use some of the features to annotate on top of the content that I was there. And if you ask me, did that really, was that engaging for the students? Perhaps. But in the end, when you looked at the smartboard, it was really just another display. So one of the things I did do is I did incorporate a touch game for review. Students would come up to the board, and the smartboard is split into 2 sections, and I would ask them a question. Depending on who tapped the board first, it would light up, and then of course they would respond. So it's kind of a great way to get them using the technology. And I did notice that whenever the students were engaged with the board, I did have higher results as far as engagement or their attention span and so forth than whenever I used it just for normal presentations and so forth. Because in the end, it was just a display. When it comes to purchasing equipment, there are about 3 things that I normally look at. Number one is the cost. Of course, we've got to, with budgets being as tight as they are, we want to try to get as much bang for the buck. And then, of course, I always look at the use. How is this technology going to be used? And a lot of times when I say that, keep in mind, there's a lot of really cool stuff that's out there. And I think a lot of times that whenever we look at technology, we really look at it with the idea of how is this going to help me teach, as opposed to how will this technology help students learn. And so I think if you can, shift the focus back to that, how will this technology benefit the students, then I think you can really narrow down on the focus of what it is you're trying to use it for. So cost and use, and then finally, you've really got to talk to IT when you're looking at equipment. I remember one time at one of the colleges that I worked at, there was a need to spend money because of a budget. And so we looked into the touch screens. They were just coming out on the market. In fact, they were probably about $700 each. And I think that we had purchased about 3 of them. And unfortunately, they did not work with our system. They didn't work with our operating system, and IT couldn't get it connected. And so those screens sat unused and could still be sitting there unused. Now, for the question, I'm assuming this is for how will the multi-touch projector enhance students' learning at SCC? I'm really not too sure. I think it was purchased kind of for the reasons stated above, in the fact that it kind of helps, faculty to do their job better. A lot of faculty prefer the ability to be mobile inside the classroom, so they're not always up at the front of the room. And it's one of the things that we did like about the multi-touch projector is that it creates this Wi-Fi sort of network that allows faculty to move freely about around the room as they conduct their lecture. So that way they don't simply have to be at the front. Now, it also does allow the ability for students to connect to it using the Wi-Fi, and I think you can share up to 4 screens on the computer at one time. And I really think in order for it to be effective, I think you really have to get the students involved in using it. Otherwise, it's nothing more than just a display. We're simply displaying the same old PowerPoint, the same old presentation. It's how are the students going to use it? How can we get them using it or get them involved with it or interacting with it to help them be more engaged with the content that's up there? Now, for the year 2016, what kind of technology equipment will we purchase for the classroom or as a learning resource? That's a really tough question. Technology changes so fast, it's really hard to predict what will come out. there's a fantastic report that comes out called the Horizon Report that sort of predicts trends and so forth. And it's kind of neat seeing some of the things that they talk about, wearable technology or 3D printing. But who really knows where that's going to take us? Personally, I'm interested more in the augmented reality, something that will, or any type of technology that will allow us to interact with content instead of just passively viewing it. We are seeing a gain in the clicker use on our campus, and so I imagine we'll probably have some more of them by that time. My view on the holographic inside the classroom, again, this goes back to that concept of augmented reality. I think there's a lot of potential for it, depending on how it's used. I mean, one of the things I harp against is just, a lot of times when we look at new technology, are we just looking at different ways of presenting the same stuff? And I think for students to really become engaged, we really got to move past that passive involvement. And I think when you talk about a holographic inside the classroom, now if we're talking Tony Stark's lab from Iron Man, yes, where he's lifting things up, moving things around inside of a 3D space, I think that would be pretty amazing. I mean, you think about it, what if you could, have a hologram of the Sistine Chapel projected inside of a classroom, where students can actually look up and explore the painting as opposed to simply just viewing a flat version of it on a slide screen.
Excellent.
And I think that if you can approach that technology where, students aren't just viewing it, they're getting up, they're walking around, we're looking at something, in a 3D space, or being able to interact with it inside this 3D space, I think there's a lot of possibility. But with the holograph, wouldn't it be amazing if it could project around you so that you're totally immersed in that environment? I think it'd be pretty sweet. So, of course, if you could interact with it, and if we're talking like Tony Stark's Iron Man lab, then absolutely, I think it'd be pretty amazing.
I think so too. I'm about to interview Miss Shantae Richbert. She's a teacher for higher education. And the first question I would like to ask you is, how many years have you been teaching?
4 or 3 years.
Okay. How often has you used technology in your classroom?
I use technology in my classroom every single day that I teach, because I teach computer applications, anywhere from a smartboard, from the projector, using an iPad, mobile devices such as smartphones, iPods, anything you can think of.
Okay.
I use it.
Oh, okay. How about on open source software? Do you use any of those?
I don't really use them in a classroom, but I do mention them to my students so they can use it at home. I like to show them how to use the version of Ubuntu, which is an open source operating system. And then I have them go to open source software directory and have them choose the applications that they want to install on their open source operating system.
Okay. What's the name of the open source software do you use?
Let's see. One for developing social networking site is called Dolphin.
Mm-hmm.
That's one that I like to use. Also, they have something called Open Office. Very similar to Office 2010.
Okay.
Also my favorite.
Oh, all right. Where do you think technology will be in the year of 2016?
Where technology will be.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's going to be everywhere you look. Right now, of course, you find them in schools. You may have it at church. They're in our cars, so now you may find them in the bathroom. You may find them at amusement parks.
Yeah. Um, what are your views about the multi-touch projector? Do you use a multi-touch projector in your classroom?
No.
Okay. How important is technology in today's classroom?
It's very important. And I think it's important in the classroom because when they go out into the workforce, whenever they get their jobs, they're going to be faced with technology. So in the classroom is a great place to start learning about the various technologies out there.
Okay. Great answer. Great answer. How do you enhance, does technology enhance your student learning?
I believe so. Technology can also serve as a tutor. I don't know if you heard of the software, Alpha,
Mm-hmm.
which allows students to check their answers. Like, say, for instance, they're working on math problems and they can't get in touch with their instructor, then they can use their Alpha software as a tutoring aid.
Oh, that's good. That's good. Last question. What was your first technology equipment?
My first technology equipment, well, I have to go way back into the 80s, probably a Nintendo.
Oh, wow. Okay. And the last question, final last question. Have you ever heard of holographic?
Holographic?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've seen them use it. They actually have a video of Tupac.
Yeah.
He passed away years ago, but they used holographics to project his image on the stage and have him perform with artists that currently that's here, that's alive.
Mm-hmm.
And we all know he passed away years ago.
No, I saw that video and it looked weird. So, it did. I like, wow.
And because of life, and Tupac disappeared.
Yeah, I'm telling you, that was just too close. I saw one Black Eyed Peas. I thought that was pretty good, and I recorded one last night, and that the children in like Brooke's age are watching now. But that ends my questions. Thank you so much for taking this time out to ask questions. Let me ask you questions about emerging technology. Thank you so much, Shantae.
You're welcome.
Okay, have a great evening.
You do the same.
All right, bye.
Bye.
Evolution. These are the 6 forces of technology. Evolutionary. Technology goes for left.
Just with a white battery fan. The overhead projector emerged with the master image created by the teacher, or a textbook image from the company.
The education industry has changed because of technology's advances in society and in classrooms. One thing I know for sure about the evolution of overhead projector is that the transparency in the lighted projector has emerged. In higher education, the overhead projector is obsolete because of the advancement of the computer projector, which can be easily connected to the teacher's computer. However, the transparency uses special markers, and so you can use markers as well on the multi-touch screen. Both projectors enhance learning, but the multi-touch projector has become more powerful over time. It produces sharp, bright images that engage the learner with PowerPoint, social presentation, images to capture the audience's attention. The effects, rhymes of time. The effects impact on new technology to rekindle something from the past. Rhymes in history of overhead projectors do rekindle something from the past. It rekindles the theater to gather a group of people with common interests. The overhead projector was the first used by the U.S. Army for training, although educators lagged behind in using overhead projector for learning, but it became the most useful classroom tool in the early 80s and until the 90s. It provided the classroom a collaborative learning environment that enhanced learning, engaged the audience attention. However, the computer projector rekindles, but it provides images that are interactive, which make the overhead projector obsolete because the computer projector can attach directly to the computer. Disruptive technology. New technology with the same functionality of existing technology, but is function more efficiently than obsolete technology. Disruptive technology is useful because the overhead projector does not have the same functionality and efficiency. There is no correlation between the two projectors. The new technologies emerges from science fiction. Science fiction plays an important role in obsolete technology because looking back at the first object that represented an audience gathering an overhead projector, it was called the Magic Lantern. And in the mid-1800s, performance projector, like the modern projector, the Magic Lantern was designed to gather a group of audience with the same interests, such as a classroom lecture to demonstrate scientific principles or the world event. The light was an oil lamp, a candle source to illustrate painted images that moved for entertainment. The Victorians of the 1800s watched horror slides that illustrated moving animation, the visual scenes such as sleeping man swallowing the mouth. Anastasia Kisser, the inventor of the Magic Lantern, wanted to entertain his audience with exciting events and mystery and science fiction. Today, science fiction movies have a great impact on technology. For example, The Minority Report. The movie, the rat does not run in the man's nose, but an instrument that can read the future. Tom Cruise, he is the star in this movie. He demonstrates this visual with a high technical projector. He uses multi-touch screen to do his research. HTV TVs, electrical cars on a superhighway, increasing returns. Two innovations hit the market about the same time. By chance, our technology does function more efficiently than obsolete technology. The two projectors did not hit the market at the same time. There is no correlation for obsolete product. The overhead because it arrived early in the 50s, but used by the U.S. Army forces for training. The Red Queens, a huge competition between two technologies. In the process of all other competitors are left behind. Again, there is no correlation in the area of Red Queens. The technology does not compare. The obsolete technology will remain in the closet because the competition does not compare. The future of touchscreen projectors will obsolete our previous computer projector because the ability to beam someone from 7,000 miles to provide the lecture using three-dimensional holographic images. The hologram projector will save money because it will have a social presence at the conference or classroom. It will allow the guest speaker or professor to be many places at one time. Now, enjoy the revolutionary, the Black Eyed Peas will share how the three-dimensional work at one of their concerts.